Hey guys, hope all are doing great, and this is Satish. And in the today's video, we're going to talk about the paper 11 and try to analyze the indirect taxation and analyze in such a way that we try to get the maximum marks in this subject. Yeah, and people who are interested in the taxation, it is especially the indirect taxation, feel very uh, interested to give more time to this subject and try to get more than the minimum marks of 40% whatever we have for each of the subjects. Yeah, so in case if you are those among I like one among those people interested in indirect taxation, I don't think so this analysis part is relevant for you. However, in case if I have other budding CMAs or other aspiring CMAs, in case if you're wondering how to study this particular subject and get the minimum 40 marks and minimum 40 marks along with getting more than 50 percentage, let's try to analyze and take again. I keep repeating, take this as a base and try to ensure that you build your own strategy and an analysis. Yeah, so paper 11 again for the intermediate level, that is indirect taxation. Okay, so one important point I would like to mention here is, guys, unlike our previous indirect taxation system, right, wherein we had a VAT, we had a CST, we had different taxes for each of the state, each of the other states, or the entire or an overall for an Indian context thing, we had a various taxes. So it was very difficult for us to remember and see which is the important topic for the from an examination point of view and which is not. So it was very difficult when we were studying. It was very difficult for us to decide which needs to be given more important and which is not. So that was the stage which we were undergoing. But if you take in the current scenario, which is the GST era, so you will not have much worry in the indirect taxation, because you just need to know two important things in indirect taxation. One is the GST, which everyone knows, the goods and service tax. So the other one is the custom laws. So very important, right? So goods and service tax, it was previously we had a VAT, we had a CST, we had different blah 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 taxes, but now it has been condensed and made a simple tax which is known as a one nation one tax, that is the GST. So it becomes easier for you to know that GST is one of the I would say a important aspect in indirect taxation structure, and the custom laws is given a minimal importance in the CMA paper 11 subject. Yeah, so in case if you take this one, we have the indirect taxation, which is ITX. So we have maximum 80 percentage given to this fellow. So this fellow is nothing but your GST. So 40 percentage, you cannot get in custom laws. So 50 percentage for sure you cannot get in your custom laws. So you got to know who is your a favorite person on whom you need to concentrate or to work with whom, so that he can get you good marks as your GST. Yeah, so canons of taxation, which is your indirect taxation, which is nothing but your GST. So they're given 80 percentage. So I am just taking a very rough number, guys, because the one advantage what you guys have is every frequently we have one or the other additions, what is happening with the GST structure. So you have an additional hedge to know the latest thing as in when it happens, without even referring to a textbook might have an outdated information, but in case if you're referring some of the website like CA Club India, or might be CA Chartered Club, something like that website is there. So if in case if we keep referring those things, you'll be having some of the other information with regards to GST. So you don't need to worry what is the tax rate last year, what is the tax rate this year, unlike an old taxation, indirect taxation system, right? So GST keep getting information every day, every time. Yeah, so it becomes easy for you to keep on track on this GST updation. So with that, I would like to say you can get 45 marks, guys. Easily you can get, provided you gave your 100% effort to this one. Yeah, so in the custom laws, as already mentioned, 20% is given to this one, and let's try to see how to get 45. Also, let me try to give an heads up to you guys how you can plan accordingly. Yeah, so in the 20% that is your custom laws, so try to understand the basics. Very important, guys. Basics, if you know, and if you know some of the baggage rules, some of the what is that some of the baggage, some of the other international related the transaction, it becomes easier for you to know what is happening in the custom laws. That is your section B of this indirect taxation subject. Yeah. Okay. So if in case if you understood this one, let's try to go to the further analysis. So the assessment strategy applies to this one, written examination for 3 hours. So objective is to know the deep study of your various provisions of the indirect taxation and their impact on the business decision. So you're going to study this subject in such a way that you become an expert to take a business decision. Guys, remember, business decision, not your personal decision, business decision. So in case if you take a very good or a great business decision, because of your one decision, many employees might be surviving in your organization. You become a leader. Yeah. So with that, what you need to do, you should build a depth knowledge. You need to have a deep study about this indirect taxation structure. Yeah. Okay. So learning objectives, you need to understand the basics of your indirect taxation statutes with refers to the goods and service tax and the custom acts. So you need to compute the assessable value of transactions related to goods and service, levy and determination of duty liability. Very, very important. In case if you try to give maximum benefits to the organization, it gets more advantage so that it can keep building its organization bigger and bigger. In case if you keep giving more benefits to the government by paying more taxation, it creates most of the job opportunities in the Indian context, and more revenue government will get, and more infrastructure and more development will happen to the state. Yeah. So with that, if you go to the next point, we have the identify and analyze the procedural aspects, understand the different applicable status under the indirect taxation. Perfect. Got it? Okay. So you understood what and all things needs to be studied in this one. What is the objective of this indirect taxation subject, and the learning aims which is expected by the institute from an learner, that is from you guys. Yeah. So skill set required. So we have level B expertise which is required by an aspiring student. You need to know the knowledge, you need to comprehend the thing, you need to apply the thing, you need to analyze the thing. So 4 important points has been clearly mentioned here. So now you know what level of skill, what level of knowledge is expected from you in this specific paper. Yeah. So as already mentioned, 80%, 20% given to the GST and case laws respectively. Okay, but if I keep moving to the depth of this subject, right? So I will not talk in depth about this one, guys, because the reason is GST is a vast subject. Nothing can be analyzed in one shot, because every person will have his or own way of analyzing the thing. So what I would like to say to you guys is, you can keep learning basics of GST. You should be knowing what is goods, what is service, what is the differentiation between these two concepts, and what is a cascading effect, why it is called as a one nation one tax, why it is called as a dual tax, this thing, and what are the divisions or the sub categories we have in GST, like CGST, that is central GST, state GST, United Territory GST, and integrated GST needs to be understood. And very, very important, this person needs to be completely understood, because this keep changing here and there. We had a lot of challenges when we got the new GST network. We started facing a lot of the issues that needs to be understood by and professional, that is you guys. So having said that, you also need to know the GST Council, very, very important, because GST Council is a team who is having an experts of various experts from the various domains. So we also have the people from the cost accounting, we also people from the chartered accountant and other governmental organization to take a wise decision and keep modifying the rules and regulations frequently, so that the nation is not affected because of this, and more revenue is being flown to the government. So that is the intention of having this GST Council. So you can follow GST Council and all the updates related to this one, and also need to know the guiding principle of the GST, on what basis it is keep updating the new rules, and how it will be approved by the government or a parliament or any other authorized persons, I mean the department. So I also need to know the functions of the GST Council, And very, very important, definitions under GST. Very, very important. You need to know a complete definitions under the CGST laws. Yeah. Okay, so having said this, you also need to know one of the important, like few of the important pointers, like I already mentioned, you need to know the basics. Okay, and along with this basic, I would like to give an happy news for you guys. If you know the basic, trust me guys, 15 marks can be easily captured in your pocket. Because the reason I'm telling is you should be knowing this, because since it's a new law, right, institute will try to give less importance to the complicated thing and give more importance to the basic thing, so that the people who are studying the subject are aware of the GST. So that is the intention. Institute is giving more importance to the basics. So I'm just telling the 15 marks is very, very at a nominal number I'm telling, but in case if you prepare properly the definition, meaning, I mean the basics of the GST, getting 15 to 20 marks is not at all a difficult task for you. But having said that, you might be asking, Satish sir, how do I prepare the complete basics of this one? As I already mentioned, you have the contents here. I already mentioned to you guys all the things are basic guys. It will not take much time. If you read twice, it will be completely captured in your mind. That much assurance I can give it to you. Yeah. Okay, with that also you need to know the one or another important point in this indirect taxation as the, okay, so it's little slow. Okay, perfect, got it. We also need to know the composite and mixed supplies, how it will be treated in the in the GST era, and what are the important point needs to be considered when in case if you want to consider that as a composite and the mixed supply. So which is nothing but a section under 8, section 8 of the CGST Act 2017. Yeah. So an important point is you also have the very, very basic things in this one. So you should be knowing what is levy, what is collection, composition levy, exemption from tax, person liable to pay tax, forward charge, reverse charge, person who is required to pay GST, tax under the section 9 of the CGST. See, all these are all very basic guys. I already mentioned to you guys, basic. So do not miss the basics. Yeah. Okay, so having said that, if you keep moving to this one, right, you also have what is time, what is money, value of supply, and again the basic thing, you also have input tax credit, which we also had in the previous indirect taxation era. But however, having GST in place, we have few of the modification. You need to know the GST eligibility, input tax eligibility for a person to claim under the GST era. So also you need to know about the indirect taxation for the special transaction, that is during a special circumstances, job work, input tax service distributor, along with the recovery of input tax credit. So from a company's point of view also, you need to know what is the benefit. That is point of view is very, very important. Yeah. So one is your company, the other one is the government. So government also should be benefited, company also should be benefited, but at the same time you are in tax management. You should become in tax management. That is when you can do all these basics, understand basics in such a way that you are good 100% in your basics. Because if you ask me one funny thing guys, even though having GST in place, we have many experts might be not knowing completely about the GST. They're still learning, because we're still getting the new updates, we're still getting the new advancement, we're still getting the news about the GST. And that is when you have an opportunity to learn new things from this one, so that you can write more of the things from the basic point of view. So you have the GST registration. Do you think this is very complicated? We had a very, very complex tax system, that is tax structure, in our previous indirect taxation structure. So this now it has become very easy. So you should be knowing how to register GST, who will be liable to register, compulsory registration procedure for registration. All these are basic. Do you think it's difficult? No? Yes? Perfect. So that is what you need to know in this GST system. Okay, so having said that, you also need to know what is invoice, what is debit note, what is credit note, accounts, few of the things. Payment of thing, very, very important. You need to know when to make the payment. In case if you don't make the payment, what is the penalty, what is the interest, all those things need to be understood. So GST returns keep changing here and there, but however, with the new amendments what are been given by the GST Council, that needs to be understood. or it might be difficult for you, because considering the above basic thing, I would like to suggest try to know a very basic thing, not to go in depth. Yeah, so anti-profiteering, government has brought a new notification with regards to anti-profiteering. Very, very important, guys. 5 marks I would like to say you can expect from this one. Yeah, okay, so in case if you're able to know this one, I can bet and tell you it will be not difficult for you to get a 40 marks. I can bet. Coming to the custom, we have 20%. I already mentioned this is what this was there from the ages, so you might have studied this lot and lot in case if you previously attempted your CMA examination, and know the basic, know the definition, know the introduction along with the customs circumstances of levy. So types of duties also needs to be understood. All these are all basic. Very important person is like countervailing duty, anti-dumping duty needs to be understood, and how the IGST will be impacted in the GST era, because this has been replaced with the CVD, that is countervailing duty, and the special countervailing duty. Yeah, so that is why I think it's countervailing duty, that's what it is. Yeah, so that also needs to be understood clearly. Any doubts here? Hope you're getting some sort of confidence, because that is what I wanted you to get, because it's not a 100% strategy or 100% analysis what I'm giving to you guys. Yeah, okay, so valuation of customs, import and export, very, very important fellow. You can expect 5 marks in this chapter also, without doubt, because most of the questions will keep repeating in this one and in this one. Deemed export also sometimes it will come, but these two are very, very important. Duty drawback also can be expected for 2 marks, not difficult. Yeah, with that, if we come to the end of our video of this one, you have the baggage. Again, I would like to say 5 marks can be easily grabbed, because all the things were there from the ages, guys. There is no major change to this one, but this part I would like to say a little complicated, some little confusing, because you have the refund, all those stuff, you have Caesar and all, but this also you can expect like 5 to 7 marks. But given the new tax, that is the GST, you might not remember all those things, but however, I already told to you guys, in the custom, if you are able to get 10 marks, I'm very much happy. Not expecting more than that from you guys. But if you ask me about the GST, so already told to you guys, out of 80 marks, where is the page? Yeah, out of the 80%, I'm expecting at least 40 to 45 from you guys, not more than that. That's it, simple. 45 from this one and 10 from this one. I'm very much happy. 55 enough, because you have other subject to give importance. In case if you're very much interested in taxation, indirect taxation, 55 plus. Yeah, I would be happy if you score 70. Done. Exemption. Yeah, so this is how we need to do an analysis, guys. But it's not like completely keep scrolling towards your pages and wondering what's happening here, there. No, it will not work. Pages will have hundreds and hundreds. In case if you ask me this indirect taxation, you have around 400 to 450 pages. Not easy to give importance to your days, right? I mean, like, keep studying the same subject again and again by counting the pages will not work. And give the importance, key important points as for this indirect taxation is know the basics without excuse. You should not tell me, Satish sir, I don't know what is GST, I don't know when a person should be eligible to register under GST era, so I don't know what is the exemption criteria for GST. I seriously don't know how to file a return, what are the returns are applicable in the GST era. No, not expected from you guys. We should be knowing the GST basic. In case if someone or if someone comes and tells me, Satish sir, I know the basic, but I don't know how to solve the problems, I can understand, because he or she knows the basics. At least if you know the step-by-step procedure in your of the questions illustration, it's more sufficient for you guys to get a good marks, Yeah, great. Okay, so having said that, know the basics, no excuses. Again, I'm telling you, no excuses. Yeah, so section numbers can be ignored, but however, remember some of the very basic sections are more sufficient, guys. Not expected 100% from you guys, because GST keep changing here and there. You get confused and you write something wrong. No, do not write something wrong, because if you're not remembering, ignore that. Write as per the provisions of the GST. Done. No confusion there. So one reference book is must, because tax, as you know, it's keep changing. You should be thinking as a professional means you need to know the latest amendments in the taxation. So that I would suggest one reference is very, I mean, like one reference book is very much required in this indirect taxation subject. Yeah, so study as an auditor company's point of view and become a tax management. So don't keep studying, keep mucking up. No, that will not work for you. So you need to study in case if I do apply this GST provision, whether this will benefit the organization or whether this will benefit government. Yes or no? Like that you need to think so that it becomes easier for you to become a tax management expert, not today, at least tomorrow. You can give your contribution to the nation, you can give contribution to the organization, and because of your contribution hundreds of people will get job opportunities. So that is what a person or a leader will do to an organization or to a nation. Yeah. Okay, so new updates about the GST can be written in examination. Yeah, so I already mentioned institute will keep giving the amendments for each of the examinations, which I already mentioned to you guys in previous videos. But however, in case if you have found some of the new news related to the GST, which is issued by the GST Council, in case if it is not applicable to your current examination also, current term examination also, don't worry, just write as per the new GST Council updates below, or the new notification has been issued with regards to the GST. If you write few of the points just in heading, like say penalty has been like eliminated for 2 years from now for the people who are having turnover of less than 20 lakhs, something like that. I'm just giving an example. Such kind of examples or some kind of new notification can be written even if you don't find that thing in your latest amendment issued by the institute. Yeah, so you also need to know the flow chart, how a GST is work, what is goods, what is services, what are the percentage applicable, who is be eligible to register on a GST, who is eligible to file quarterly returns, monthly returns, annual audit is required. All those things needs to be understood by a flow chart, very important, which becomes easier for you during your revision. Yeah, and list all your tax, penalty, fine, interest rates in a sheet. Glance at least 2 times in a day. As already mentioned, 2 times in a day is very much important for indirect taxation, because you should be knowing what's happening in the GST, that is your indirect taxation, and those things should be fixed in your mind without any doubt. For that, what you need to do, 2 days, I mean like 2 glance at a day is very much important. Yeah. MTP, RTP, PTP is a must for previous year question papers, along with previous year question papers. But with this, one important I would like to mention to you guys, when you're referring these things of previous question paper or RTP, MTP, ensure you also have the latest amendment issued by the institute, so that you can relate some of the changes what has happened recently and which is applicable to your upcoming examination. Yeah. Okay, so how many days is required? 40 to 60 days is more sufficient, guys. 40 days I'm giving to the people who are very much interested and passionate about indirect taxation, and maximum 60 days for the people who are average student like me can spend 60 days. Yeah, sufficient. And case laws of important from examination point of view, and the size has become, that is the marker size has become, because this is very important. So case loss is very important. Ensure you do not miss this, because this institute will give in its amendment notification itself. So refer that, try to apply how you need to write the law subject. As I already mentioned to you guys in my previous one of the taxation video, I also made a video how to write case laws, so you can refer my how to write a law subject. So the same thing can be applied to this subject also. Yeah, perfect. I believe that you got some sort of information from this video, how to plan indirect taxation, how to break and sub break each of the topic, and how many days can be given to this subject, and what are the important things needs to be considered for passing this subject. Okay, so hoping that you got a positive vibes from this video. I would expect you guys to hit the like button in case if you got some sort of information, and please do share this video, because I see most of the people are liking and watching the video but not sharing, because you will be having many friends who are in need of some support, some sort of information with regards to CMA course, how to study, when to study, what are the aspects needs to be considered to pass the CMA, and I request you to please do share with them, so that because of you someone is getting help. So that is what is required. So sharing is caring, right? Isn't it? Great. So having said that, we'll meet with a new video that is on paper 12 again for the intermediate for the company accounts and the audit. Yeah, so with that we'll end the video for the day, and Satish signing off for the day. So you check, and bye bye.